Hello everyone, I am Jack and I'm back. And another day of body filler, gel coat, primer, whatever. All right, so here's the back section. I've got the two tops right here, right and left. Pretty close, not exact, but I'm tired of messing with it. There's the rear deck, I guess, or trunk. It is ready for primer. It has the original paint, a little bit of white paint from when we painted the car in the previous version. You can see where I sanded through, and you can see some of the factory orange paint. And then this is gel coat right here. And so I just took it, hit it with 60 grit, I think. And that's as good as it's going to get until I'm going to put primer on it. Hopefully not a lot of sanding scratches show through. But you can see that there's the 60 grit pigtails from using the DA on it. But I'm ready to try primer on it and see what happens. Here is the driver's side with the eyebrow that goes pretty much straight and semi-parallel to this. One of my concerns is if I make it like that, then how parallel it is to that body line will be painfully obvious, so that will have to be something that will have to be watched closely. The area is sanded a little bit just to knock off the high spots, and again, this is black, gloss black paint, some of the cheap rattle can stuff. I just wanted something so I could see what I was dealing with, especially where the reflection is on this line. Oh, and then how flat this is. I don't know if you can see with all the sandy dust, but it's really not bad. I mean, it could use obviously a little more. There's a wave right there in the body line. Again, I'll have to fix that. But again, I needed to see the two sides and decide which side I want to copy to the other side. So there's no point in making this perfect just to decide that it needs to be moved up, down, sideways, in, out, whatever. Today, I spent most of the time on the door, the driver's side door. It was bad. So I put on gel coat, white gel coat the other day, sanded it down, and the whole purpose of the gel coat was simply to fill the pinholes and the defects in the actual fiberglass surface itself. And so that would provide a good surface to put body filler onto. So then I put that gel coat on, sanded it with 40 grit on a 16-inch sanding board to get it as flat as I could. And that's when I discovered there are a lot of low spots in it. I mentioned that previously, but this was a huge low spot. I was going to take pictures immediately, and then I took a break because I was frustrated from sanding. So when I got back from my break, I completely forgot about taking pictures or video. And so this was a lot worse. It's been filled in a couple of times and sanded flat with the 40 grit on the board. The area, and that I put a guide coat on there so it would show up the low spots, because some of them didn't show up in video. But you can see that I sanded all the way down to the fiberglass trying to get this out, and it's just too deep right there, or this is too high, whatever the case may be. I'll decide which of those two it is later. All right, so then my plan was, hey, I'll just put some body filler on here and just live with the fact that it's going to be a Bondo baby. And then when I did that, I found out it's pretty bad. I mean, honestly, that depression right here, it comes in. If you look at it from this direction, it's curved in right here. If you look at it from the side, it's curved in right there. That's just a huge depression. I used my straight edge. I'll see if I can find it and I'll come back. So anyway, next thing, I need to put some more filler on there. I can't leave it like this, so I at least want it to be kind of flat and level so that it's presentable. Right now, I'm afraid if I painted it, just would look like crap. It looks like crap now. Oh, the other side. Now, if you look over here, they didn't do as bad a job on this door. So if you look, it has gel coat on it that, again, I did so that I could fill in the pinholes and the defects in the fiberglass. I hit it a little bit with the 40 grit on the 16-inch board just to knock down the highest spots. And then I said, you know what, might as well put a guide coat on there. So I put a guide coat on there, and I'm going to sand it some more. But you can see this one isn't nearly as bad as the other side. If you look over here, I mean, that would be presentable, I think. Now I'll know when I sand it a little more, but that would be presentable. The other side is not. So that shows they could have done the other side better. They just chose not to, and they still billed me for it. So I'm not happy about that. This is the side with the eyebrow that is not parallel to the body line. You can see it's kind of U-shaped, and the sun's at a different angle. Yesterday it was hard to tell what this side looked like, so now this is a better video of what that fender feature looks like. All right, oh, and here's my straight edge. So let me show you. If I put the straight edge across here, you can see this is flat. All right, not quite. I mean, it's got a little bit of a hum, but that's okay. It's close enough. That would be presentable if I just flatten it. The deal is, see, there's a dip right there, and again, it's pretty significant. If I stick my finger back there, it's hard to do it in here, but you can see, what is that, 3/16 of an inch, something like that, because that's my finger. So it would have been nice if that wasn't there. I'm going to go ahead and just do this door, both doors, like they are, and then see what they look like at that stage. The reason why is they could have and should have just reskinned this thing with a separate skin. I don't know why they didn't do that, but they didn't. And it would have came out great. I mean, you can have a skin that is perfect and just stick it on there. Again, in my other video, I said I would have just cut the whole perimeter of the C8 door out and then put a skin on top of it. Anyway. And that brings up the other point, that the bottom of the door, both doors are the same. This one's worse than the other one. But if you look, there's a 1/2 inch where this door comes compared to where the side of the body is. And all they did was went, oh, it doesn't meet, I'll just round it out down there. Well, that looks like crap. I mean, why would you have a door stick out a 1/2 inch from the door sill? So if I pull it out, you can see there's the door sill where the door should have met, and it didn't. And to show you what they did, I have to crawl on the ground, which I hate doing, but I will, just for you guys. So you can see right here, they actually cut the edge of the door. They could have left the edge of the door here, and this is the door skin, and pulled the door skin in. But instead, they cut this corner out, and then they made up for it. Didn't really made up for it. Right there. So you can see right here, I can stick my finger in there. Why'd they do that? And if you look over here, you can see there's where it would have been if they wouldn't have hacked it. So that just plain, that's shoddy workmanship. Look at that. So again, instead of pulling this in and making it meet, they just said, oh, we'll stick some fiberglass in there and screw it up. And you can see the rest of the door, they didn't do that. They met up with the door. Again, and you can see all the way down, they did the same thing. Now, to make it worse, the other side isn't the same thickness. It's like 3/8 of an inch all the way down instead of 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna have to fix one, the other, both, I don't know. Anyway, so that's the kind of work that Duntov did for me, and wanted to charge me $40,000 for it, and I refused to pay it. Ended up paying $19,500 for it, which is a robbery to me, but anyway. All right, so that's where I'm at now. I'm going to add another layer of body filler on this and get it to some presentable level. I would have liked it to be flat, but I'm not going to insist on that because it's going to take a half a can of body filler to do that, and I don't want to do that. But I am making progress. I may switch to this side because it's less frustrating. Don't know why I decided. I just eeny meeny picked a side to do, and unfortunately I picked the other side, and I should have picked this side because it would have been better. So anyway, if you look at my other video, I did show you I have a door skin for another project. It is a C6 to a C2 conversion, and it doesn't fit perfectly, but it's way better than this. So in case you haven't seen that other video, let me come over here and show you what they were supposed to have done. So here's the C8, and it has this body line which did not line up with the C2. You can see this is a little bit too low. You can see over there if you look. Let me show you. This body line comes to the top of the tire. If you look right here, it comes pretty much to the top of the tire. The side body line here is significantly lower than that. So that body line wouldn't have stayed. It would have had to been adjusted. So the idea was they should have cut around the perimeter of the door and then just put another door skin on. If you look, all of this is just fluff. You can see there's the actual door edge right here. So sorry about that, neighbors. They could have just cut this off and followed this door edge all the way around, but instead they Mickey Moused whatever they did. So, and the same thing here, if you look, the door outer skin flares out here, but they didn't have to do that flare. They could have cut all of that off. I'm not going to crawl under there, but you can see they could have cut that off. And then you can see right there where the C8 door meets. So they could have left the bottom of the door alone and just had, by the time you get rid of this, they could have just come straight into here. Or there we go, straight into here, and gotten rid of this, which I didn't like anyway. And they got rid of it back there on the car if we go see. So they could have just cut this off and stuck a flat door skin on. I don't know why they didn't. Come over here and look. And you can see that right here. This is what they did here. So they got rid of that. They could have continued this and pushed this edge in and made it match this instead of coming out the ½ inch right there. All right, that's what I got. Like, subscribe, hit the alert, hit the thanks if you want to donate. And if you don't like what I'm doing, you don't know Jack. Go ahead and walk around the car in case you want. By the way, the front end is crooked, and the reason why is I actually made the brackets for this side to hold it in place. This side doesn't even have the brackets. You can see here's where the brackets go, and I haven't made them yet. I've got the metal to make it, so that'll be another project. It'll just be a repeat of what I did on the other side. So like I said, it's getting there. So I think once I do a quick 40 grit sanding board on this, I'll be able to see what I've got. All right, see you next time. Bye.